like a bro. Oh, he is so strong, Paul.
And look at him hustle that bike. Every turn, every jump done perfectly. As Jeff Ward out in front, we've started the last lap. Jean-Michel Bale rides in second place, trying to catch Jeff Ward. Despite the fact this is a heat, there's pride involved here. You would think that Bale would just relax on this last lap and take it easy. Not so. He wants this win as badly as if it was the Indianapolis 500.
And that's not how you keep a spot as a highly paid rider on a factory team. You give it your all the time, especially if you work for Honda.
Bale now chasing down Jeff Ward, but Jeff Ward looking very, very strong here as he works his way around this course.
And this course, Paul, was designed by Gary Bailey, known as the professor in the sport for his motocross teaching abilities. Now, Gary had a longer area to work with than he usually does inside a stadium, so you got long straights, but he didn't have much width. The riders, in some cases, are complaining about the entrances to the jumps being very narrow as as 5 feet, and they're used to maybe 11 feet.
Well, Jeff Ward's not having any problems with any of them. Bale continues to close down on Ward. And here comes Jeff Ward, the final jump. He takes the checkered flag. Bale comes across in second. 7 riders transferred direct into the main. Now, Steve told you a little bit about this course. It's very special here at Daytona. And earlier, Gary Gerould took a look.
Well, Paul, there's one other way in which this competition here at Daytona is totally unlike the other events on the National Supercross Series. That's the fact that this is the only place where you run under daylight conditions. In all the other stadiums around the country, you're running under the lights at night. And here in Florida, this racing surface dries out under 80-degree temperatures and nothing but sunshine. And as it dries, it's a much more fine base than what the riders normally compete on in the stadium conditions, where the clay is heavy and tacky and you get a real grip all night long. Now, as this begins to dry out, it begins to break up. And as it chops up, it makes it much tougher on your body physically. And so you throw in the fatigue factor of a 20-lap feature, and you have got literally a tremendous handful here at Daytona. It's what makes this the most prestigious of the Supercross events.
But as we've said at many racetracks of many different types, it's the same for everybody. Jeff Ward wins heat number 1. Jean-Michel Bale in the second spot despite his ball. Kudrowski, Ward, and Lamson the top 5. In number 6, Billy Whitley. Guy Cooper just did make the cut for the 20-lap main, and Eric Keogh will have to ride the last chance qualifier coming up later on. Paul Page.
Well, here is Jeff Ward. He stretches it out. Jeff, what a great ride.
Yeah, I didn't get the best start, I wanted, but moved through the track pretty well. And I got up there front, I could get by him, but it's a rough track out there.
You pointed it out in the early going. You weren't where you wanted to be. What happened?
Well, I just got pinched off from the start. I think I'll get a better pick on, a better start in the main. And it's 20 laps. It's a long race.
We're seeing some guys that shouldn't fall on this course. Is it really that rough?
Yeah, I made a few mistakes, and they're borderline from going down because they're going so fast. And the strength-wise to save it is really incredible. So it's the least of the fall.
Jeff Ward, looking good. Thank you.
Well, when that world-class athlete has a hard time catching his breath, you know it's a rough racetrack. Heat number 2 is getting ready, and there are some superstars in this one we'll talk about a bit later. Right now, let's go to Gary Gerould.
Well, Mr. Cooper is back, somewhat worse for wear. That's disappointing when you fall, but you made it to the feature. That's the important thing.
That's right. It's hot out here today, so I'm happy that I finished 7th. I just need to stay on 2 wheels.
Any physical damage to your body, or do you think you're okay 100%?
I'll be 100%.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
So Guy Cooper, with his 7th place finish despite his fall, moves into the final. There's Ricky Johnson, ready to ride. Now, he's riding with an injured right hand and wrist, an injury that he suffered last year. It has been giving him some problems. On number 8, Damon Bradshaw. Earlier, Steve had a chance to talk with him.
Damon, at just 17 and a superstar of the sport you've always loved, what do you like the most about your life right now and the least?
Well, I get to, go around to a lot of different parts of the country and meet a lot of new people, and I discover a lot of new things. It's I just have to be very open about it because I learn stuff every day.
What is the least favorite thing about your life as a professional motocrosser?
I'm going to say the traveling part of it, in and out of the airports. Once I get to where I'm going, it's a ball of fun. It couldn't be any funner.
Remember, Damon Bradshaw Bradshaw is riding with an injured left ankle. This is heat number 2. 8 laps. Again, 7 riders go into the feature.
Did you notice Paul Damon Bradshaw is a lot like us? His favorite part is the travel, and his least favorite part is the travel.
Nothing more romantic than constantly being on the road.
Love those airports. All right, one by one, the riders start to plunk the transmissions down into low gear, creep forward, try to get comfortable in the groove they've dug for themselves. Remember that gate ball back towards them. If they foul start, they impale themselves on it. But it's a beautiful start, especially for Damon Bradshaw, number 8 on the Yamaha, and number 1 defending champion Jeff Stanton on the Honda. They work with Paul.
Boy, Bradshaw came out of there like a rocket ship, and look at him now as he battles with number 1, the blue plate, Jeff Stanton. Stanton picks up the lead.
Jeff Stanton, an incredible first lap. Let's remember it was right here in Daytona a year ago when he first vaulted into Motocross prominence, went on to win the entire series and earned that number 1 plate. He is picking up exactly where he left off.
Stanton runs out in front, Bradshaw second, Ricky Johnson in third. LaRocco runs in fourth. In fifth is Matson. Fred Andrews is sixth, and John Dowd is seventh. Those 7, if the checkered flag were to fall right now, would transfer direct into the main, but there's still plenty of racing to run here in heat number 2.
There's our leader, Jeff Stanton, number 1. As the field streams through our sector, we can count them up. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 49. John Dowd behind him, 102. Chris Young, who knows he's got to move up one more spot to avoid that last chance qualifier.
And Chris Young is attacking the course with some verve as he closes down just a little bit on Dowd. He'd love to get that 7th place, because if you get it, then you transfer direct into the main. You don't have to ride anymore today. It's 80 degrees here. Pretty hot and pretty uncomfortable riding on this course. The battles for 4th. There's 99, Dean Matson in 5th. Back to the leaders once again. And look there.
Rick Johnson rode right off the course, but he stayed on the bike. He re-entered the race legally, and he's in the 4th position with Mike LaRocco on the number 10 bike in front of him.
Yeah, LaRocco went flying past when Johnson went off the course. Now Johnson is trying to chase LaRocco down and catch him, get past him.
Paul, can you imagine riding with an injured anything on this course? We've talked about Damon Bradshaw, and we've talked about Ricky Johnson. I just can't imagine having a headache.
This has to be tough enough for a perfectly healthy person, let alone somebody like Johnson who has trouble with his right wrist and hand. But look at him ride. You can't tell that there's a problem at all. LaRocco comes over the jump. Johnson continues his pursuit.
Now watch Ricky Johnson, number 13, as he uses these berms where he can really squeeze the power on and get a shot back onto the straightaway. Now you want to get the bike down as quickly as possible off those jumps, because the machine in the air isn't driving the rear wheel and continuing its forward progress.
You know, all of these riders are especially adept at reading the changing conditions on the course. Their minds are like computers. They say, well, I went through here last time. It was a little rough over there. It looked better down to the right. I'll try that the next time through. They really know their way around. We'll be back with more from Daytona Beach, Florida.
We see a crewman getting Johnny O'Mara's bike ready for his heat. O'Mara, the 1984 Supercross champion, always something to watch. They call him the O Show on his Kawasaki. And here is number 8, Damon Bradshaw on his Yamaha. Behind him is Mike LaRocco trying to take Bradshaw for second. Anytime you could get Damon Bradshaw right now, Paul, you're considered a pretty good rider yourself.
Well, take a look at Jeff Stanton, too, the defending champion here. He's well out in front. As we take a look at the top 5, remembering again that everyone down through Fred Andrews will transfer direct to the main. They take the top 7 in the main, so the fight is not only to try and win this thing, but to try to finish 7th as Bradshaw continues to try to hold off Mike LaRocco for second. LaRocco tries him on the inside. This fight is horrific.
It is indeed. LaRocco got right up alongside him. Bradshaw accelerated away. Bradshaw keeping tabs of where LaRocco is. LaRocco now again tries him on the inside, looks to the outside, and he plays it all as big as he can pass on this course. Is Mike LaRocco, number 10. Oh, and LaRocco maybe overextends himself a bit. Oh, there's an awful rut right there. That's what got him, Paul. He's got to stay in that top 7. Go, Mike.
LaRocco gets the bike back under power and continues his pursuit. But the nice little fight he had going with Bradshaw is over. Bradshaw rides alone in second right now. And we take a look back to 3rd place, and there is Ricky Johnson, who assumed 3rd when LaRocco fell.
And when he rides in that 3rd spot, he's memorizing every hole and this racetrack. And here's LaRocco on the 10 bike trying to catch back up to make up the ground he lost when he fell. And speaking of that fall, let's take another look at it in replay, and we can see just how treacherous this racetrack is, Paul.
Take a look at LaRocco as he drifts just a little bit off to the right. The front wheel starts to dig in a series of ruts. And all of a sudden, he does a flat spin off the course. Surprisingly, though, he only goes to his knees, jumps up and picks the bike up again, and goes right back into the action. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how either, Paul. He didn't even stall the motorcycle. So Mike LaRocco, he got back up and continued, and in safe range in that top 7. And there again is Ricky Johnson, bike number 13, the Honda. And here's LaRocco coming up on him.
Boy, LaRocco really caught up quickly. Ricky Johnson now trying to hold on for third. LaRocco from LaPorte, Indiana, a brilliant ride. Look at him as he charges down on top of Ricky Johnson. He may be able to get him before this race is over.
And if he does, Paul, it'll be a tremendous confidence builder for him when the feature rolls around later today. I got by Ricky Johnson in the heat race. I can win this thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, he is looking terrific with the white flag out, just one lap to go. Will LaRocco catch Johnson? A very tough, long straightaway, unusual for Supercross, but because of the circuit here, they can do it as LaRocco gets past Ricky Johnson. Unbelievable. He drops the bike, comes back, and passes Johnson.
That is just tremendous grit on the part of LaRocco, and he's not satisfied with that, Paul. He wants Damon Bradshaw.
LaRocco is riding like we have never seen him do before. What a terrific ride he's given that machine. Ricky Johnson has all but given up any pursuit of him while LaRocco charges ahead. He knows that he's got less than a lap now to try to catch up.
And Mike flies right by the traffic. He has one goal in mind, and it's called number 8. Damon Bradshaw right in front of him. Again, easily around the bike that's a lap down. Can he get Damon Bradshaw? Look at Bradshaw fly, forcing that bike down instantly on the throttle. Here is the leader, Jeff Stanton. Here is the winner of heat number 2, Jeff Stanton, who profiles the front wheel. Back to that race for second.
LaRocco trying to chase down Bradshaw, doesn't get it done. Nevertheless, he finishes in third. Bradshaw is second, and they transfer direct into the feature.
A tremendous heat race. Imagine what it's going to be like in the feature when all of the top stars get together on the same gate. Meanwhile, back in the pit area, Jeff Ward trying to scrape the dirt out of his chest and get a little break as the mechanics furiously work on this bike, apparently changing the gear ratio a bit.
Now let's go to Gary Gerald, who's with the winner of heat number 2. Gary?
Jeff, I tell you, a guy that won here a year ago, you look like you're hungry for 2 in a row.
I'm hungry. I'm really hungry. Tired of the rookies going out there and winning. I'm ready to go out and charge and race hard and do whatever it takes to win.
Super aggressive ride. Any problems anywhere?
None at all. Bike works good. New Hondas work really great. I'm happy with them. My mechanic, Dan Bentley, tuned them great. I'm ready to win.
Confident for the main event?
Feel confident.
Wow, there's a man with absolutely nothing negative to say. Jeff Stanton, he won heat number 2, followed by Bradshaw, LaRocco, Johnson, and Matson. And 2 very important positions also go to the main event is John Dowd, followed by Fred Andrews on number 18, who did just hold off Joe Waddington to go directly to the main. Right now, let's go to Paul Page.
Go, Mike LaRocco. Jeez, you had it going for you, and then one fall, and still you were able to charge back.
Yeah, my dad always taught me never to give up, and I went right back at it after I got up, and I get along good with this track, and I hope it'll be the best for me.
I know you don't like to say things like it might have been, but if it hadn't been for that spill, where could you have been?
Well, I'd like to see me pushing Stan, maybe taking the lead, but, we got the main, so we'll see what happens.
What do you think for the final?
I think it's looking good for me. My bike's working real good, and I like the track. I think it'll be a real good race.
Okay, Mike LaRocco is looking strong.
With talent like that young man, it's absolutely assured to be a real good race. Here's number 6, Ronald Titchener, getting ready for heat number 3. We'll have it for you when we come back to Daytona. Stick around.
Introducing the new Dodge Stealth RT Turbo, dedicated to those who thought Ferrari Testarossa couldn't be beat 0 to 60.
The Stealth really smoked it.
Who thought Porsche Carrera couldn't be outcornered.
The Stealth just blew it away.
Who thought Lotus would save Europe today.
The Stealth just plain beat it.
Introducing the new all-wheel drive Stealth RT Twin Turbo. Performance that's bringing America home to top.
Well, you would think think that this jump at the finish line is the big challenge for the riders here at Daytona, but it's not proven to be so. Remember at the start, we talked about the challenge created by the long straightaways, which are unusual for a Supercross course. Well, this is the back of the two straightaways, and because of these very big depressions, as the riders come flying out of them, they're not really sure where the next depression is going to be. It's not evenly spaced, and because of that, we've seen some of those end-over-end flips that have taken their toll so far today. The riders say the straightaways will be where this race is decided.
And the riders know. Heat number 3 is still getting ready. We've got a moment, so let's go to Gary Gerald with Rick Johnson. Gary?
Well, here's the man who unfortunately finishes 4th, but the important thing is you do transfer, but I know you can't be happy with that ride.
No, I'm not. The problem is I don't have my I didn't set my bike up the way it should be, and I was having troubles with the rear suspension's a little too stiff, and I can't seem to get over the back and get a lot of momentum through the whoop-de-doos, and that's where they're pulling me a lot. So we're going to make some changes to the bike, and I think we'll be right there in the main event because it's going to be a long race.
After the injury that kept you out of Daytona last year, are you 100% now?
I'm getting close. It's improving week after week. Last week was the first national I've won since I've been back. That was a race I got hurt at last year, and so I came back and won both motos last weekend, so it feels good. So I'm definitely on an upswing, but not quite 100% yet, but getting there.
Disappointed but ready, Steve.
Well, Gary and Paul, with the motorcycle changes he's talking about, we may see a different Ricky Johnson when that feature does indeed roll around.
We may indeed. Not far from here at Palm Harbor, Florida, Ronald Tischner. He rides on the Suzuki, has it powered up, ready to go as he rolls up to the gate and prepares himself for the 3rd heat here today.
If you were to poll the still photographers, this would be their favorite rider, Johnny O'Mara, the O Show, and his Kawasaki. No one flies higher off the jumps or gives them better profiles in midair than that man.
Talk about lonely. You like to be all the way at the far left end of the gate. Well, that's the position that Bill Wallen finds himself in as they all now begin to focus on the starter and prepare themselves for, again, 8 laps. And there on the pole Kawasaki is Jeff Matasevich from California as the riders are prepared.
You know, Paul, there's not too many things a man can do that takes more courage than the start of a motocross event with this many riders on a narrow track. Maybe the running of the bulls in Palm Palma. That's about all I can think of. Here they go.
I'll watch either, won't do either. One rider down early. That's number 24, Keith Bowen.
And look at this field. They all stay right at him somehow through the start with the dude. And it's Johnny O'Mara. Johnny O'Mara on the Kawasaki out in front. And behind him, number 20, Jeff Matasevich.
O'Mara got a terrific start there. He just came barreling down from a position near the inside of the right side, and he nailed it. As now the battle begins, Matasevich comes up and takes O'Mara.
And he got him cleanly, Paul. What a nice pass for Jeff Matasevich.
Boy, nice, smooth, and look at Matasevich pull away. Seldom in this sport do you dominate like this. Another rider down. Boy, he really dug in a rut.
And that is Kurt McMillan, number 28, and he's got to be hurting. Nonetheless, he is back on the motorcycle. He's got to get it refired to try to get back into the top 7. Same rules apply here in heat number 3.
I'm surprised to see him pop up and get on the bike that quickly. He really took quite a spill.
Almost hate to do this, but let's look at this one again. It's an ouch. Oh! At least, Paul, he got himself clear of that motorcycle. He kind of stepped off it and launched himself away from the machine.
Well, that's a pro. You got to be smart enough to abandon the bike if you see it going in the wrong direction.
I think that's just survival instinct working for Kurt McMillan.
Look at him, though. Right away, he hops up and runs for his bike to get back in the action. And the action right now is at 3rd place as Brian McElroy is trying to hold off Ronald Tischner.
And in the 5th position behind that duo is number 7, Doug Dubach, another one of the strong Southern California riders on a Yamaha. They are here literally from all over the United States and in some cases from all over the world for Daytona.
And Tischner gets off the course. Tischner rides right off. He was trying to avoid this rider, McElroy, who gets his bike up and fired again, but look how many places he's losing.
That's right. He's the big loser in this deal, McElroy. He's going to have an awful hard time. In fact, it's probably impossible for him to get back in a transfer position. Here's the battle for 4th. 23, Michael Fisher, and the man who got restarted after having a bobble there, number 6, Ronald Tischner. Tichenor is going to put a big drive here on Fisher. Tichenor on the yellow machine, number 6.
Fisher, the 23 Kawasaki, tries to hold him off. They come over that big jump once again. And number 6 just continues to follow Michael Fisher.
Well, Fisher just grabbed a little bit more of that throttle to hold him off. Fisher was kind of riding along fairly comfortably there. Now he feels the pressure, and he makes one little wobble, and that's all it takes.
And Tichenor gets him. As he moves forward, Fisher drops back. Nice piece of riding, one small mistake, and it's all over in motocross.
Oh, boy, that's for sure. You just hope the people in front of you start making them as well. So Tichenor has that 4th position. In front of him in the 3rd spot is number 7, Doug Dubach, and he may see young Ron before too long.
You know, it's amazing when we saw Tichenor earlier when he drove off the course. He actually made the correction that he made in mid-air, turned himself in air so that he wouldn't land on the bike that was down in front of him.
Oh, it's so unbelievable the things these guys can do in flight, and they do them without even thinking about it. It's just instinct.
Oh, their control of these machines is just absolutely awesome. I don't know how they do it.
And especially when you consider that this track is changing every single time they go around it. With these knobby tires, it's like one giant collective bulldozer. They move that much dirt around in the course of an afternoon.
Not only changing because the sun is drying it out. Gary Bailey keeps track of it, and he waters sections of it down in between the heats so that he can keep the course exactly the way he wants it, and a challenge to the riders. We'll be back with more from the Daytona Supercross by Honda.
Why is this young man, John Ebby, the rider of bike number 816, wishing he had taken up tennis or chess or highline or lacrosse, anything but motocross? Well, you're about to see in replay. The leader, number 20, Jeff Matasevich, was streaking down the back straightaway when he saw in front of him John Ebby do this number.
A little pirouette in the air on one very tough race course. But to his credit, look at him. He's up and riding again. That's the kind of spirit it takes to ride a stadium motocross bike.
All right, some excitement for that 3rd spot. Number 7, Doug Dubach, and number 6, Ron Tichenor, going at it. The way they're riding, you'd think they were racing for $1 million instead of a transfer spot, just trying to stay in the top. The leader is off. He's off the racetrack.
Matasevich is off the course. Unbelievable. And there comes that battle around Matasevich as he tries to get started. O'Mara now has the lead. The fight is for 2nd place between Dubach and Tichenor.
And Dubach likes to ride the outside of those jumps. Tichenor on the inside, and it's the inside line that works for Tichenor as he moves into that spot.
Yeah, but it's not over yet. Look at Tichenor and Dubach as they continue. Tichenor, for the moment, has taken 2nd place. Dubach is right there, gets mudded down as he comes around that corner. Tichenor uses the berm expertly and takes 2nd place. He has control of it now.
You saw a classic example of why you can't take a turn too tight. We saw Dubach try to do that, and as you said, Paul, he just lost all his speed.
So Tichenor is in 2nd. The leader of the race is John O'Mara.
And John O'Mara inherited this lead, not to take anything away from him. He's a great rider both here and in Europe. But Jeff Matasevich found out not only the backside of the racetrack, the back straight is treacherous, but you can get real trouble on the front side as well. Watch Matasevich in replay here. Using his body, stretching it out, letting his arms do the work, absorb the shot, and suddenly the front wheel gets down in one of those Grand Canyons and right into a hay bale.
Boy, and he is lucky. Look, the bike is still under power, almost catches one of the course marshals. Matasevich is lucky he wasn't seriously injured as he gets up and runs for his bike as well, trying to get back into the action. They are all trying to finish better than 7th place.
And here is that fight for 2nd continuing. It is Ron Tichenor and Doug Dubach. Dubach tries the outside, and this time, no. In fact, he's off the course. He's got to get back on and stay in that top 7. Boy, I'll tell you, these heat races are as good as most main events.
You can see, too, in that kind of situation, how just a tiny mistake can really cost you. Just an off and on, he probably wasn't off the course a total of 10 feet, and look how far back he's fallen as a result, as the white flag comes out with one more lap to go.
And, you know, there may be a hole, Paul, where there wasn't a hole a couple of laps before, where you had a good line, suddenly, well, you're going to get in trouble. And any time you get that front wheel down at any kind of a vertical angle, well, you're history.
So Tichenor's battles for the moment seem to be over. He's not in contest with anyone, holding second place all down by himself. John O'Mara has the lead. And here comes Dubach trying to catch up. But I don't think that's going to happen on this last lap. Nevertheless, he, along with the top 7, will transfer into the final.
And Ron Titchener in that second position. That is bike number 6, still hanging on to that next to best position in this race.
That's Mike Roth, a slower rider that he's coming around now. Look at him pitch that bike as he come over. It's amazing how they throw it around in the air. I'll never get over the excitement of Stadium Supercross.
And there's number 9. That's the leader in heat number 3, Johnny O'Mara. He is going for the win. The O-Show from Southern California will have a good starting position for the feature this afternoon. And back in 5th, I'm sure disappointed he didn't win it when he was leading with a pretty good margin, is number 20, Jeff Matazovic. He will finally take the checker, a relief, I'm sure, and head back to his camp to try to get a good deep breath, a little bit of rest, shut his eyes, and contemplate on the feature to come while the mechanics try to give him a better Kawasaki even than he has now.
But the good news is that Matazovic, along with the other top 7 riders in heat number 3, move on direct to the main and don't have to ride again to try to make it into the final.
Helmet off is the winner, Johnny O'Mara, and Gary Gerald is right there to talk with him.
Well, here's the O-Show. 6 years ago, the man who dominated the series with a national championship, a heat winner in decisive fashion after one of those men in front of you took a nasty tumble.
Yeah, it was my teammate, Jeff Matazovic, leading the series, and I tell you can't make a mistake out there. It was just one of those things. I was riding a little bit conservative, but it paid off in the long run.
Johnny, you've never had a win here at Daytona. Is this the year?
I sure hope so. I've been second quite a few times, and it's a thing I'd like to do for Kawasaki and myself right now. It'd be nice.
Well, Johnny's teammate Matazovic, who took that tumble, is now with Paul Page. Paul?
You were looking so good. What happened?
Yeah, I was feeling really good there, and just got past the halfway sign of the race. And I misjudged the whoops over before the little double jump over there, and it put me down on the ground.
This course seems to be knocking a lot of guys down now.
Yeah, you know, each line, every time you come around, the line is totally different, and it's making it very difficult to keep a really good line around the race course. And I picked a bad one that time.
Well, you show what you have. Maybe you can do better in the final.
Yeah, I'll go back and get my bike ready for the final, and I'll be looking for the final.
Okay, thanks, pal. Good luck.
Johnny O'Mara said he was riding conservatively. Now, that's a new term to be applied to that young man. He won it. Ron Titchener, number 6, in second spot, followed by Dubach, Fisher, and Jeff Matazovic on number 20, the teammate to O'Mara, sliding into that 5th spot. Number 6 was Ron Diebold, bike number 890, and Keith Bowen, he hung on to that final transfer spot. We'll be back to Daytona.
We're back in Florida at Daytona Beach. I'm Paul Page with Steve Evans and Gary Gerald. We're here for the Daytona Supercross by Honda, and the riders are preparing for the last chance run. Only one rider here will go into the final, only the winner.
And Paul, whoever that man may be, will not have a lot of time to prepare himself or his motorcycle for that final race. They will have put more laps on this treacherous racetrack than anybody else. It's not an enviable position to be in. And one rider you don't usually expect to have to run this race is Eric Keogh from Southern California, rider number 19. Gary Gerald, just before he went to the gate, had a chance to talk to the young man about this.
Well, Steve, here's the man whose work is clearly cut out for him now. Eric Keogh, you come one notch short of missing qualifying in that semifinal. You've got one last opportunity. What do you think your chances are?
Well, my chances are pretty good. I'm just going to go into the last chance to make it into that final. I'm at a little bit of disadvantage putting so much time out on the track today because it's real hot and real rough conditions, so it's taking a lot of my stamina out of me before we even get to the final, and the final's a 20 lap against some really fast guys, so it's definitely a disadvantage, but the main thing is to get into the main and then see what happens from there.
On the bright side for Eric is at least this race is a bit shorter. The heats were 8, the last chance qualifier is 6 laps.
Well, his point's well taken, though. It's a very, very tough and punishing course. Here's another guy you don't normally see running in the last chance final. Kurt McMillan, you did see him fall in one of the first heats here today. But as tough as this course is, and as warm as it is here, having to ride more than once to get into the final, well, that's punishment enough.
Absolutely, and you see, number 19, Eric
machine is Kurt McMillan.
And right behind him, the 54 bike of Jeff Reese, followed by Eric Keogh and Jason Bottle.
Now remember, this is the last chance to make it into the final, the last opportunity here at Daytona. And right now, Kurt McMillan, who had that fall in the early going in one of the heat races, is out in front and trying to put some distance between himself and the second place rider.
Eric Keogh, rider number 19, has moved into that second spot around Jeff Reese on the 54 bike. And Eric Keogh, unlike the riders in second in the heat, can't relax at all and say, well, I've done what I need to do. You've got to win this thing if you're going to race for the big money and the Supercross point.
Now, you have to go for all it's worth here because only that top position will go into the final round. And you can see that Keogh is attacking this circuit with vigor as he tries to catch the 28 bike of Kurt McMillan.
You know, I know, Paul, it's kind of a good news, bad news deal for whoever wins this thing. They've accomplished it, but they've only got 5 minutes to go out and run 20 laps. If it was cool and dry, that'd be something else. It is hot, it is humid, it is about as tough an atmosphere as you could put an athlete in.
Well, added to that, if there's anything wrong with the machine, as soon as you come in, you don't have an opportunity to fix it. You're either going to have to grab the backup bike or race this one, but you're not going to know very much about the machine when you roll out.
But one thing, if you're mounted on a Honda anyway, and it's true for most of the factory teams, you really don't need to worry about the motorcycle or the preparation of it. All they expect you to do is be physically and mentally fit to do the job. They'll take care of the motorcycle. They ask the rider for input, obviously. Is it suspended too soft? Is it too hard? But after that, boy, all you do is go shut your eyes and relax.
Well, Keogh is worrying McMillan. Keogh, from time to time, has been able to move right up on the back. For the most part, Keogh is letting McMillan do the trailblazing. He's following right in his tracks, but doing so, he is able to close right up behind McMillan. Watch Keogh. Every turn, he picks up another couple of inches, another foot.
And he's riding very smart, Paul. He's counting off the laps. I'm sure he's saying to himself, don't get in a hurry. That's what got you in trouble before. You've got a little bit of time.
The halfway point of this last chance run. And look at Keogh. Now he's found a different line. At the same time, McMillan gets into the rougher stuff over on the left of the backstretch, and Keogh takes the lead. McMillan now tries to catch him.
Eric Keogh putting everything he has into this, most especially his heart, because in these situations, that's what really pulls you through.
Keogh has enough of a lead that coming through the last corner, he was able to reach up and clean his goggles once again. McMillan seems to be dropping back as he tries to catch Keogh. Now Keogh races on a Honda here, and when Honda comes out to the Supercross, they bring plenty of equipment, plenty of trucks, and they make it a complete team effort. You can see the rewards of that kind of effort in a run like this by Keogh. But earlier, Steve Evans was able to go back into the paddock and take a look at that Honda team effort.
With the heat races in the books, the most important thing the riders can do is relax. Jeff Stanton is doing that in the Honda pits. In fact, Honda makes the most dramatic statement as far as their dedication to Supercross with 5 identical vans, all painted bright red. Now the mechanics take over while the drivers rest, and most of the bikes get about the same attention. Many will get a new rear tire. The airbox will be checked, make sure there's no dirt in there to block the induction system. The chain, of course, will be adjusted properly. All the spokes will be tightened, and they'll go over virtually every nut and bolt on the motorcycle, especially considering how rough this course is. But for the riders, their obligation here is to get in, find some shade, and relax and save their strength. This is a brutal racetrack.
Well, they're all relaxing with the exception of one man, Eric Keogh, who is trying desperately to win the last chance run so that he can find his way into the final. Looks like he just may get that job done right now, as he has managed to put some distance between himself and the second place rider, McMillan.
And he is on the final lap of this last chance qualifier and already off the throttle, trying to save every bit of energy that he's got left.
Well, Eric Keogh has to be one very tired puppy. Remember, he's raced in a heat, now in the last chance race just to make it here. Refreshed and ready to go. The #1 plate, and it belongs to Jeff Stanton as he is ready for the feature.
Everything we have shown you so far from Daytona and the Supercross by Honda has been preliminaries, as good as the racing was. the best is still to come. The 20-lap feature on a hot, humid day. I'm Steve Evans along with Gary Gerald and Paul Page. The scoring department is ready, clipboard and pencil in hand, and the riders are starting to approach the starting gate. The winner of the last chance, Eric Kehoe, barely had time to change bikes to a different Honda and to chat for a few seconds with Gary Gerald.
Congratulations, you're in the feature.
Yeah, I'm a little tired. I just got to go back, get something to drink, and I'm out here to have fun, so that's what I'm doing.
A lot of punishment on one's body through an afternoon such as this.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Are you up to being able to challenge now the hot dogs in this feature?
I definitely am.
Wish you luck.
All right, thanks.
There's great spirit from Eric Kehoe as he is in the gate, ready to go, and having just come off that last chance victory. There's Jeff Ward, the winner of heat number 1, mounted and ready to go on his Kawasaki.
And rider number 1, Jeff Stanton on his Honda, the defending champion here at Daytona, also the reigning Supercross champion from last season. And Jeff would like to join the ranks of Pierre Karsmaker and Daryl Schultz as the only riders to win the Daytona Supercross back-to-back.
And on his Kawasaki, ready to go, the winner of heat number 3, Johnny O'Mara, as he takes one final look at his goggles, and he's ready to go racing.
And here's a young man that the motorcycle press says is a shoe-in to win a Supercross Series title just sooner or later. He's only 17, and that, of course, is Damon Bradshaw. The moment is at hand.
Bradshaw, remember, still recovering from an injured left ankle. They eye the gate. Reds come up, and they are off, and boy, what a great start. O'Mara got down from the inside.
But it was Jeff Stanton, Paul, that snookered them all as they turned that first time to the right. And Paul, to think that all of these riders, if they do, and yes they will, get through bunched up like that and all still sitting on their motorcycles, well, that's the greatest testament to their ability. They defy all laws of nature and gravity.
Great start. Bales jumped into second place. Matson came across in third as they came off of the start. Matasevich was running in fourth. Matson has a nice run going. There's Matson, Matasevich right behind him.
And Paul, number 9, Johnny O'Mara, did not get his usual good start. He is back in the 7th spot with Mike Kudrowski on number 11 behind him. But here's the leaders, Jeff Stanton, number 1. His Honda teammate, number 22, the Frenchman, Jean-Michel Bale, followed by Dean Matson, number 99. A surprisingly good go here.
Matson runs in third place. Trying to catch up to him now is Matasevich. The fight is for third. Matasevich picks up a lot of room and a lot of air on that last jump.
And Jeff Ward, number 3, he is sitting back there, what, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Wardy trying to get through this field.
Bales comes over the jump in second place. Matson comes across in third. The rest of them finish the first of 20 laps here in the final at Daytona.
And we saw as they came over the jump, Rick Johnson just a bike length behind Jeff Ward, number 13 on the Honda.
Matasevich continues to chase Matson.
But up front, it's Hondas 1 and 2. Jeff Stanton, defending champ. Jean-Michel Bale from France behind him. Interval back to third behind 99, Dean Matson. Then 20, Matasevich. When you see the 3, that's Jeff Ward, followed by Kudrowski, 11, and Rick Johnson, number 13, has got a lot of work to do.
They're all right there as Matson takes a look back because he sees Matasevich on the fly, and Matasevich on the jump gets around and picks up third. Now he looks for Bales, who lies ahead as Bales tries to chase the leader, Stanton.
And what are the fortunes of Eric Kehoe, who won the last chance qualifier? He started 28th on the gate. He has moved up to 23rd and is chasing number 223, Earl May, for that 22nd spot. The higher you finish, the more money and points you win.
There you see the number 19 of Kehoe. Look at him use that outside berm. Boy, he's having a nice little run as well. These riders are incredible, but Kehoe is still involved in a fight there. There comes Matson across the line, and that is Jeff Ward on number 3 as he tries to get around Matson. Can he get it done? He does.
Did you see Jeff Ward just keep that front wheel in the air through the hoops? He only had the rear wheel shot to deal with. Look at Wardy. Now he's showing why he is such a superstar in this sport.
There's Matson as number 11, Kudrowski, comes around and gets past Matson.
Everything is settling down here. Riders are now starting to say, okay, get with the program, including Rick Johnson.
It's a matter now of finding your pace. Remember, this is a long race. There's the 4th place rider, Jeff Ward. You can't relax, but finding your pace is very, very important because if you try too hard, then you will make a mistake.
At Absolutely, especially considering the distance of this race. You can't ride it like you did a heat race in many respects. Interval back to 6th position. 99, Dean Matson has got Rick Johnson right behind him, number 13. Matson has fallen back a bit, and Johnson hopes to make it even worse for him.
They're fighting all over this circuit. At the front, there's Stanton. But take a look at number 22. Bale is beginning to close in. He will shortly be challenging Stanton. Stanton is driving for all he's worth, trying to get away from Bale and the rest.
If there's a real surprise to a lot of American fans, it is that Frenchman, Jean-Michel Bale, running in second. They're so used to seeing the Europeans come over here and get used for traction by American riders. This kid's no push-up.
You can see, too, that he is using every inch of the circuit, somewhat narrow though it is, that is available to him. Now, Bale, of course, in the European courses, runs those incredibly long cross-country motocross courses. So his physical condition is absolutely excellent. The difference for the riding here in the United States on the Supercross course is the short, tiny little circuit.
Well, Dean Matson, 99, is having some problems. Number 10, Mike LaRocco, capitalizing on him. LaRocco now picks up 2 positions.
I don't know what happened to Matson there. He seemed to get off to a rougher section of the course, and I think perhaps wisely just slowed the bike down. But when he did that, LaRocco and several others were able to blast right up there with him.
And one of those was number 17, Larry Ward, who is now behind LaRocco in the 8th position. Matson falling back to at least 9th.
Actually, I think he's fallen back all the way to 10th now because LaRocco, riding on number 10, currently is running in 8th place.
And to make matters worse, the track is starting to dry out in the heat and in this long race. And there's the race for the 3rd spot. Jeff Ward, number 3, and Jeff Matazovich, number 20. Matazovich on the inside. It's Wardy with the power in the line.
But they're coming neck and neck down that front stretch. And look at Matazovich. Finally, he is able to force his way past Ward. Matazovich moves forward.
That was just a terrific duel for that 3rd position. Absolutely incredible racing. When it looked like Matazovich was going to be eaten alive by Ward, he came right back.
What a wonderful little fight. And right now it seems that Ward is stopping to think about what happened there as Ward has dropped back just a bit. Matazovich continues on. We'll be back with more from the Daytona Supercross by Honda. Well, there on the right is Hurricane Bob Hanna with a whole string of victories to his credit, including 3 wins in this race in 77, 83, and 85. His job now is as a coach for the Suzuki team. He watches from the side of the course and in between the heats tells their riders what they can do to improve their style and position.
And I'm sure Bob, like all of us, watching that fight for the 3rd spot still going on. Jeff Matazovich, number 20, number 3, Jeff Ward on the Kawasaki. Up in front of them, Stanton, Jean-Michel Bale, and Jeff Matazovich. Rick Johnson making some progress on the number 13 Honda. He is up to that 6th spot, followed by Titchener, LaRocco, Ward, and Dubak. And speaking of Wards, the other Ward, Jeff Matazovich, Paul, is completely frustrating him. He can't get that 3rd spot away from him.
Matazovich and Ward have a war going for 3rd place. Right behind them is Trudowski. There he is on number 11. And Rick Johnson on 13 is now moving up and running in 6th place. Matazovich still tries to hold Ward off. Look at Ward. He is right now following the same path that Matazovich finds around the circuit. With a little over a third of this race run, perhaps Ward's attitude is, I'll let Matazovich cut trail for me for a while. But no, on this straightaway, he moves to the right and challenges Matazovich. They come over the jump together. Ward almost gets him in the air. Now he tries to use the advantage of a slower rider, comes down the inside, and Ward gets past Matazovich.
And here comes Mike Kudrowski, the number 11 Honda. Kudrowski trying to get up and mix it up with Matazovich and Ward.
Ward rides in 3rd place now. Matazovich right behind him, lined up, trying to get back and catch Ward. Look at Jeff, though. He's got a great run going right now. Oh! Oh, boy, he hit hard. And Matazovich comes back around. Ward gets right back up on the pegs and goes after him. Unbelievable.
You talk about real man stuff. That was it. Jeff Ward, just incredible. It didn't even slow him down.
The fight for 3rd moves around the 18 bike of Fred Andrews. I can't believe that Ward took that shot and continues his chase of Matazovich.
We saw Ward number 3 and back interval to Johnson number 13 in his Honda. You can see how much distance separates them, more than Johnson would like.
The fight continues for 3rd, though. As look at Jeff Ward. He is right back, knocking on the back door of successful on the last lap, and he gets past Matasovic.
In almost the exact same place on the course. Again, using that throttle perfectly to keep that little wheelie going over that rust stuff and not nosedive into one of those giant holes.
It's really amazing to watch them, and especially to listen to the motors as they ride. They come up to the jumps, gas it just a little, make the jump, continue on. It looks rough, but they are being very gentle with these machines.
Kudrowski just got Matasovic for that fourth position. He is now behind Jeff Ward. Rick Johnson just behind Matasovic.
So Matasovic beginning to fade a little as Ward rides all alone, and Matasovic moving backwards. There's the leader. That's Stanton. Jean-Michel Bale has closed up a little bit on Stanton and begins to attack for the lead.
Stanton actually got a little too tight on that last right-hand turn and maybe lost a little ground to the Frenchman.
Once again, the trick here is to try to figure out how the course is changing. At the moment, Stanton has the lead, but Bale has really been able to figure this course out. He's been trying a couple of new lines, and they've worked out for him. They've kept him in contact with Jeff Stanton. Will Stanton repeat his win of last year? Stanton certainly has that top place now. He's had it right from the dropping of the gate.
And Paul Stanton is showing tremendous physical endurance here. He is riding as hard now as he was at the drop of the gate. Absolutely no difference in his style, his technique, or his attack.
Number 42, Keith Johnson, as Stanton comes around him, putting him a lap down, and that gives him a little breathing room back to Bale, but Bale is continuing to charge. There comes Bale, held up only a few seconds. Watch him fly the front end as he gets into that throttle and continues his pursuit.
I don't care where you are on this course, your body and your motorcycle is taking tremendous punishment, but maybe especially if you're trying to hold on to third place as Jeff Ward is, the number 3 Kawasaki, with Kudrowski, number 11, behind him. Rick Johnson closing in, number 13 on the Honda, and Jeff Matasovic, number 20. They're all in a train.
Kudrowski and Johnson both are pushing Jeff Ward hard, though when he gets to the berm sections, and especially to these little straightaways, he seems to be in a little better shape. Now watch Ward. Let's see if he can continue to maintain his intervals as he comes down through this section. Now remember, when he passes here, he likes to go over to the right side. Now he's over on the left side. And look at this. Look at this. Jeff, he gets a little too high. And right underneath him comes Kudrowski.
Kudrowski drove right on the edge of one of those jumps, got hardly any air at all. Remember what I said before? If you're in the air, your rear wheel isn't driving, and there was living proof.
Well, when you're up there, there's no traction going. And Kudrowski certainly took advantage of that. And that put Jeff Ward back a place. Here is Stanton, the leader of the race. Bale still about the same position. Doesn't seem to be able to close down and catch Stanton. But he certainly is riding for all he's worth. Stanton with a beautiful ride today. Look at that. Boy, he's just incredible. Bale, though, took advantage of the air that he showed there and was able to close a little bit on Stanton.
And Bale is used to driving on very wet, almost muddy circuits. Oh, and look who's down. It is Rick Johnson, number 13, is down. He is going to possibly try to get back in this. You have to wonder about the hand.
That's right, Steve. Remember, he's riding with an injured right hand and wrist. It looked to me like he might be favoring it there. Think of how much movement, if you have an injury in the right wrist, it gets. Let's take a look at this. This is the situation that set up that fall. He just got the back end way up, and then the whole bike came over. Oh, boy, he's lucky he wasn't more seriously hurt in that one. I'm surprised he even got up.
Well, you know, Paul, I think that was a case. He thought he knew exactly where he was when he came over that jump. There was a little lip there that kicked the rear wheel up that probably wasn't there a couple of laps ago. And Johnson got off hard, and unfortunately for him, we saw him try to cushion the blow with that right hand and wrist.
And look at him now using his left hand to operate the throttle. I'd say that right wrist and hand are now a serious problem because he's decided to give it up. He's heading back toward the paddock area.
And 200 riders with better fortunes as we hit the halfway point in this final race of the afternoon. Jeff Stanton, number 1 up front. Jean-Michel Bale, number 22. And as you said earlier, Paul, he still is not making any progress on Stanton.
Temperatures up into the 80s here. This is one tough ride. As we take a look at Bale, there is Stanton, the leader of the race. Bale closes a little bit. Remember, this is extremely soft ground. They're actually riding on the area that is between the tri-oval and the pit road at Daytona Speedway. It's very soft sand. Over at the edge of the course, there's Rick Johnson. Apparently, his problem is serious. He's certainly out of the run, and Gary Gerold is right there.
Ricky, obviously great disappointment. How badly are you injured?
I don't know. My ring finger, my pinky finger are going numb. They're not working, so...
It looked like you were making a terrific move. You were really coming into a position to challenge. Did you feel like you had a chance to win it?
I don't know if I had a chance to win it, but I knew I had a chance at second. But I just hope it's not broke again.
All right, get some medical attention. He's on his way to see a doctor right now, Steve.
And we wish Ricky Johnson the best. There's nothing more discouraging for a professional athlete than an injury like that might sideline him again. And they continue to fly out on this course. And the course continues to give these riders everything and more. Stay with us at Daytona as the Supercross by Honda continues.
We're back at Daytona Speedway, the Daytona Supercross by Honda. We're watching the battle for 5th place. Jeff Ward is right there, so is Fishner. They just came around the 99 bike of Dean Matson. Matson has now dropped back into 12th position.
And for Jeff Ward, this has got to be discouraging. He was in that fight for that 3rd place, even held on to 3rd for a while. But now Kedrowski and Matasovic, well, he can't even see them over the top of that jump. He's really got his work cut out for him, Paul.
And that is discouraging. When you look ahead, you don't see anyone up there that you were fighting with. But there is Fishner on number 6 just behind him. As we take a look at the top 5, Stanton has been in that position all along, chased right from the green from behind by Bale. We take a look at the bottom half, the top 10. Fishner, Dubach, Ward, O'Mara moves up into 9th place, and Guy Cooper is running in 10th right now.
And some people quite surprised about the improvement of the riding and the physical conditioning of Ron Titchener. But as Paul mentioned earlier, the Team Suzuki coach is Bob Hurricane Hanna, the 2nd winningest Supercrosser of them all, and that may account for a good deal of that. Just having some guidance for a young man is so important sometimes. And Ron, on that number 6, Suzuki is just behind Jeff Ward on the Kawasaki as he tries to take over that 5th spot from Jeff Ward. And after Bob Hanna retired from motocross, he got interested in automobile racing, where he ran into Paul Page. They renewed their acquaintance here.
Well, you may ask, why are the Suzuki riders looking so good? Is it the skill of the rider? Is it the machine and its technology and all that advancement? Well, the answer may actually be standing right here. This, of course, is Bob Hanna. Bob, you actually coach the Suzuki riders.
Well, I've been doing that for about 3 years. It's been part of my job, and last July I quit racing, so it's kind of a full-time job now, working with the riders and helping them on their bikes, helping them on their riding style anytime they have a question.
On a sideline announcer, we watch, we think, well, maybe we really can't tell what's going on, but obviously you're seeing things that you can relate to them. What kind of things do you see, and what do you tell them?
Oh, riding styles and suspension settings, like say a set of whoops or something I can tell real easily. If it's a bike or if it's a rider, and if it's a rider, why, and just help them out there.
This course seems particularly rough in 2 places. What are you telling them about it?
Well, there's a technique for that. Knees tight, butt back, pull the bike down in the whoops, pull the back end of the bike down, keep the front end light. And sometimes everybody doesn't think about that.
Well, there he is. It's Bob Hanna, and it may be Suzuki's secret weapon.
And earlier we saw one rider, Jeff Ward, do exactly that and ease the pain over those whoops. Any rider would listen to Bob Hanna, I guarantee you. And one of Hanna's pupils, Ron Titchener, on bike number 6, is still trying to catch up with that man on the number 3 machine, Jeff Ward.
White flag comes out. One more lap to go. Already, our leader, Jeff Stanton, has seen that white flag. Bale continues to chase him. And look at this. 19, Eric Keogh has retired. After getting into this event in the last chance run, he was moving well. He'll finish 29th here today.
And Paul, it appears an absolute certainty here that Jeff Stanton will become only the 3rd rider to ever win back-to-back Daytona Supercrosses here. The checkered flag is out. One final monstrous jump with his hands in the air. What a way to finish.
Well, Jeff Stanton's done it. He's won the Daytona Supercross by Honda. A Honda for a Honda win. And Stanton looked perfect all the way.
Well, let's get get a word with a two-time winner at Daytona. Jeff, come on over here. A defending champion comes back and he repeats. It hasn't been done many times at this place. You've got to feel great.
Yeah, I feel really good. I was looking at the stats, and there ain't been too many people done it. Bob maybe done it once or twice, but Daryl Schultz. But it feels good to win it back-to-back. It was great.
You came right off the starting gate with a terrific inside line, and before they even got to the little kink, let alone the first corner, you had a bike length lead.
What else can I say? My Honda worked great. You know, that's all there is to it. They worked hard. We worked hard all week. My mechanic, all the managers, everybody worked great. It was just awesome.
Did you ever feel that you were in jeopardy any time during this 20 laps?
Not at all. No, mechanic said to take it easy because it was a long race, a really long race. So we took it easy. And, you know, 5-7 seconds at the end, it was great.
Everybody says that there's nothing like a win at Daytona, and you're one of the rare guys who can now savor it for a second consecutive time.
Yes, this is true. It's great to win here. You know, everybody's here, all the hoopla, just everything. Daytona's great. I love it.
Congratulations. Terrific job. We'll check in with Paul Page now with our second place finisher, Jean-Michel Bale.
Second place, Jean-Michel. You really couldn't catch him.
Yeah, I have a very good start, and after I tried to pass him, but I am too much tired after the middle of the race, and after I tried to finish, but I know for a mistake for Jeff, and but it's a good race.
The course was very rough and got rougher?
Yeah, I'm very tired. It's very hot today, and for me, it's my first race where it's too hot, and I'm very tired, but it's okay. I finished second. It's a good race.
Thank you. Now let's go on to Gary Gerald with third.
Mike Kudrowski, who finishes third on this competition, and I know you'd much rather be up there in the #1 spot, but there's still a pretty big smile you're wearing right now.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm getting a little bit better at the Supercrosses, getting used to the 250. I had a decent start today, and I tried to pace myself, and I guess the pace wasn't fast enough to catch leaders, and my teammates Jeff Stanton and Jean-Michael Bell rode a good race.
It seems like you're making the transition from the 125s to the 250s almost effortlessly. Any problems at all?
I've been having a few little problems getting used to the power and the weight of the bike and stuff. It takes a little bit more energy to ride one, but I'm coming around pretty good, and I'm hoping to do better later on in the Camel Supercross.
I tell you, a young man in a young man's sport, but you've had a full day's work.
Yeah, today was a tough one. It was really hot out here today. The track was really rough. It got rougher as we went on, and I just tried not to make mistakes.
We congratulate you on your third place finish.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Steve Evans.
And here are the final results of the Supercross by Honda. Stanton, Bale, Kudrowski, Matasevich, and Ward, the top 5. 6 through 10, well, it looks like this. Ronald Titchener got into that 6th spot, followed by Dubach, Ward, O'Mara, and Cooper. Paul is with the rider who finished 5th.
Well, for Jeff Ward, it's a 5th place, but you were in the middle of every fight today.
Yeah, it seems that way because I didn't get a good start, and I'm back in 10th and working my way up. I use a lot of energy and taking lines I don't like to take, and my lower back got real tired out there, and once your lower back gets tired on sand, there's no way to ride.
This course, too, and running on the sand seemed to take a lot out of everybody. Certainly, you're one of the toughest there is.
Yeah, I wasn't flowing too good.